For more on this potential work stoppage, we're joined now by CTV's Scott Hurst. Scott, how would a second postal strike in 6 months affect Canadians?
Nathan, good afternoon. You outlined how crippling and costly this past strike was just 6 months ago, 32 days that the union workers were on the picket lines, and that meant, as you said, letters and parcels didn't move. The Postal Service didn't accept anything new, and anything that was already in the system stayed right there. So this is just more bad news for anyone relying on a steady, uninterrupted service. As you mentioned, the strike could officially begin at Thursday night, Friday morning, 12:01 Friday morning, meaning union members could be on the picket lines first thing Friday morning. For everyday consumers like you and me, it means a disruption to our daily mail service. For businesses, it is obviously a lifeline to get products to customers, and it will seriously deepen the company's already dire financial situation. Here's more from Canada Post and the union as we are just days away from potentially another Canada Post strike.
The last one had a massive impact, hundreds of millions of dollars on Canada Post. That one came at Christmas. Another one would just be debilitating, and we're already losing $1 billion a year, and had to have a bailout from the government. We need to turn the page.
And the union put some changes forward to the employer, and the employer walked away. And we asked if they were coming back last week, and they said, well, if not this week, next week. Well, they know we're up against a deadline this week coming.
So the union is pushing for overall job security, benefits, pension, pay, but also pushing back against part-time workers on the weekend. That has been one of the big obstacles. Now, in a statement, the union has said it took this step, issuing the strike notice in part to respond to the employer's recent indication that it may unilaterally change working conditions and suspend employee benefits, Nathan.
So with all that, is there any sign that negotiations might be resolved and they can avert a strike?
Well, here's the thing. In terms of negotiations right now, the issues that caused all the concern last time around are still in play this time around. If you remember, after the 32-day strike, the workers were ordered back on the job by the Canada Industrial Relations Board, and the collective agreements were extended for 6 months until May 22nd. That takes us to later this week, and during that time, it established an industrial commission, and that report has detailed a lot of its findings last week, saying Canada Post should stop door-to-door residential mail delivery and shutter more rural post offices in order to survive. Now, the union is not. The union, a lot of those demands, a lot of those recommendations from the commission, the union says they don't really sit well with their members, saying it fundamentally disagrees with the bulk of these recommendations. So we are still days away from that potential strike when the workers could be on the picket lines once again. Canada Post says it is preparing offers right now and should be able to present those early this week. But as I mentioned, the same sticking points that we were dealing with last time are still in play this time around, Nathan.
All right, CTV's Scott Hurst with the very latest on a possible postal strike. Thank you.
Thanks, Nathan.